Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001, bringing you a project that I've been wanting to get to for a year but lacked the appropriate figure. Venus the Hedgehog, commissioned by DeviantArt's Cyan Boots, an artist whom I have admired for a long time. So, Wave the Swallow, being the only female figure available in the market right now besides Classic Amy, is of course going to be the base figure. Although she will be using Jet's legs, because, Venus doesn't wear flare pants. Okay, so the first step is, of course, cutting off Wave's goggles. Once that's done, you have quite an ugly forehead gash. And then I sanded off the beak so that I could begin to sculpt and fabricate everything. As you can see, she has a pair of Sonic's ears cut off from a previous Mighty commission. And I sculpted the hair as a separate piece to be glued on later because it would really get in the way when painting. Now before I continue, I would really like to give a quick lesson on tacky glue. This stuff that I use, it's similar in strength and practical use to Elmer's white glue, except that it applies a bit thicker so it sets faster. I don't use this glue to hold figures together because it's only about as strong as white glue, and crazy glue or super glue is much stronger. However, it is amazing for spackling in cracks, grooves, or otherwise any gaps in sculpt. All you have to do is apply a little bit of the glue into the seam where you see it, smooth it out with a moistened finger, and then paint over it once it dries. And it is fantastic for covering in any gaps. Like I use this around Venus's hair and the back of her ears. So yeah, this is some really good stuff, and you should look in on this. All right, so with a fresh coat of paint and gluing on her bang, Venus the Hedgehog is looking like herself and is very pretty. Of course, we can't have her be a severed head for long, so let's move on to the next part. Oh, quick note on Freerider's articulation. Previous Sonic figures' elbows could only bend about 90 degrees, but the Freerider's one actually has an elbow that seems to be able to reach 135. That's a really good elbow. Of course, the hand is simply a repaint job. Fingerless gloves, skin-colored arm. This part is just a repaint. In fact, from this point, most of the figure is mostly a repaint, although there is a little bit extra sculpt, as you will soon see. Now, the Wave figure has this necklace with a big red gem right in the middle of her cleavage, which I had to cut away. I then covered up the obvious shaved off bits with a bit of extra sculpt. Didn't actually have to make her boobs much bigger. I know a lot of times when I make female characters I have to actually give them quite an enhancement, but not in Venus's case. She has a pretty modest pair. And I've gone on quite a bit. Although I must say that Wave the Swallow's muffin top is exceptionally useful for painting in belts. Man, I am sounding really objectifying in this part of the review. Let's move on. This is just, I'm starting to creep myself out. Okay, legs. Yes, legs. As I said before, I started with Jet's boots. The thing is that Jet's boots aren't a perfect match for Venus's. Now, I couldn't make them into thigh highs, but what I could do was shorten the cuff a bit to make them look more like Venus's shoes. Of course, this part was actually kind of hard because I had to carve it very, very carefully with an X-Acto knife and then get in there with a very thin Dremel attachment, which with a Dremeling sander bit. It's complicated. However, once done, I needed only to attach a couple of those thingies that are on the sides of Dr. Eggman's boots. You may remember them as the bits I cut off when I made Eggman Nega. And a simple repaint job makes them into a very nice facsimile of Venus's boots. Look, even on the sole, I added that little ring on the heel that she has in her character art. Now let me tell you, reassembly is a pain. That is because the pegs on Freerider's figures are much shorter and also much thicker than the pegs that you would get on most other figures. So the leg swap was not an easy task. I think I could have made it easier if I had attached the legs first and then did the head instead of the other way around. And that's what I'm going to do in the future. But I don't know, I guess I just had a neurosis about having Venus's severed head made from waves just lying around when the body was right there. Legs first, then head. That is my mantra for the future. Oh ho ho! You think we're done here, don't ya? No, we ain't done. Sit yourself back down and watch the rest of this video. This was a Free Riders figure, and of course Free Riders figures come with extreme gear. Now I couldn't just let Venus go riding around on Jet's unmodified gear. It totally clashed with her outfit. You know what, with it being all green and stuff. So, I wasn't really given any specific instruction on what to do with this part, but I decided to go with a nice cyan design with details picked out in white and purple, you know, to match her outfit. And I think that looks pretty good. And since she does have Jet's boots, she can ride it like a champion. Of course, her neck articulation is limited the same way that Waves was because she has the same thing. But still, she can look pretty cool riding on the board. Alright, this has been Venus the Hedgehog, character I've been looking forward to making for about a year or so. And this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001 signing off.